I'm sitting with Blue IQ CEO Amanda Nair to talk about the refurbishments of Constitution Hill. Why is Constitution Hill undergoing these refurbishments?
Well, let me start with Blue IQ's role per se. Blue IQ is an 87% shareholder in Constitution Hill Development Company. In terms of the refurbishment, in the current financial year, there are two elements of refurbishment. The one is a 6.1 million rand injection into the buildings as they are for maintenance, upgrading, refurbishing them. So it's a small upgrade, and the Johannesburg Development Agency is working as our agent to do the implementation. The second and probably most significant effort is around what we call the completion of the development of Constitution Hill. About 5-6 years ago, the Gauteng provincial government through Blue IQ invested about 400 million rand on the site. And the money was used principally for capital work to build super basements. The intention was then for those super basements to then be developed with commercial space on top. The other element of development that is part of that is the development of a visitor centre, which we hope in the future will house the Nelson Mandela Centre of Memory and the archives. But it's a conversation we're having with the Nelson Mandela Foundation at the moment. The existing development on the site is the Constitutional Court. The Department of Public Works at the time provided a capital amount of just in excess of 60 million to build the court. So the redevelopment is going to be principally for the Department of Justice's office space and their needs, and the extension of the court as well, and any other requirements that the court and the Department of Justice would need.
What is the ultimate vision for Constitution Hill?
I think we'd like to see an iconic precinct which houses the Constitutional Court, it forms the heart of where our Constitution is given effect to, and it becomes a haven and a hub for passing on to future generations the legacy of our Constitution and of our struggle for freedom. So it really is quite a significant precinct. And it's something that we really believe we need to invest in across all spheres of government to ensure that we achieve our ultimate objectives on the site.
Who are the main funders of this project?
The original funders were Blue IQ principally, supported, as I said, with some money from Public Works, stroke the Department of Justice for the Constitution Court, and the City of Joburg to a certain extent. So that's the original capital work. On an ongoing basis, over the last few years, Blue IQ has continued to fund the operations of the DEFCO and its heritage, education and tourism activities, and we'll continue to do that for as long as it's necessary. Our funding model for the future, in terms of the redevelopment, is to procure a private sector developer to come in and do what we called a BOT, build, operate, transfer. So they would build the development, do the redevelopment for us. They would then do the capital investment as part of that, and then be our operator and our facilities manager and provide a turnkey solution. And the way they would amortize their investment in the site is through a rental revenue stream. And that's essentially the model we're looking at going forward. A component of the revenue that's generated would go to subsidize the heritage activities.
The impact for Gauteng as a province?
Well, this is a great tourism asset. I think it's one of our key legacy assets from an apartheid history point of view and from the development of the Constitution. And our Constitution is probably one of the most well-known in the world. So it really is for us as a province a key asset, and one that we need to ensure is constantly refurbished. That's something that we can all be proud of, and that we can ensure that there's a constant stream of visitors from inside and outside the country that come to experience what essentially embodies who we are as a people.
6.1 million rand has been allocated to the restoration of the heritage component of Constitution Hill. Can you tell me more about this?
Yeah, certainly. The 6.1 has been fragmented into different work packages. Because of the nature of the site and the levels of decline experienced in certain aspects of it, we've had to look at the most critical elements of Constitution Hill. The first one of these would be sections 4 and 5. The second one would be minor work to the Old Fort pavements, as well as the Old Fort atrium. The the bulk of the money will be spent on the sections 4 and 5. The reason we've elected to spend the greatest amount of money on this site is because initially it was part of Stop the Rot campaign, which was a program initiated to really prevent further decline of these buildings. So Section 4 received some attention, Section 5 didn't receive any attention at all. The problem that we found is that it forms a good part of the tourist experience if it could be activated. So that was another motivation to initiating the process for Sections 4 and 5. In terms of the old Fort atrium, there is need to bring it up to I suppose health and safety standards, and allow or permit a proper tourist engagement with the site. So really the focus of there is to repair the roofing, the stairs, and effectively activate the entire area. In terms of the pavements, again, the same sort of experience that it's gone into some decline, so we need to do some repair work to those spaces.
Donate now and give 15 Rand a month. SMS JOIN to 41486.